Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and as you might know already, I always tell this at the beginning of the video, we have a cool sheet where there's a lot of things, all the guides that you might need, and we are going to talk about some changes that they did. You might already know that they nerfed the boots that we have for the raid. They're a little big bugged in the PTR and they don't have like the special effect, but basically what it has is the 20, 30, 40, and 50% increased effect of the super cloak. Now, of course, that will come later. Today, we are going to talk about some other trinket tuning that there was. We have the extra cloak damage that was good for us, increased damage, making it, of course, even better. Now, with the new sims that you already see on the full node thingy, well, he updates them. You will see the new values. It's going to be like almost 3 point something percent of our total damage, quite important. And now they have nerfed and buffed some trinkets from the raid, making us change some things, like now pacemaker is not the best. It's actually quite worse now, but only because the trinkets were super close at the top end. So now what we are going to be using most likely is antenna or the sigil of the cosmic hunter. As for dungeon trinkets, there are some decent ones, but of course, as you know, getting those in mythic it's a little bit harder. And the unyielding nether prism has been buffed. Some damage, it's not hugely important this one, but the extra stacks helps us a lot because makes it so if we want, we can move our damage 3 minutes later instead of 1.3, making it so, for example, if there are important phases like last phase of Bandit or Moxie, you can not use the trinket in the last cooldown before the phase that is important begins, and make it so the next one is an extra powerful one. Of course, you know the agility is the same, so the overall DPS is not lost, but the DPS in that phase increases quite a bit. Some important buffs is the ticking sack of terror was already quite decent and it got buffed. Of course, it's not top or anything, but it's still kind of decent. The harvest edict buff is kind of whatever because it doesn't do a lot of damage. You mainly want it for the mastery. Same thing with the Curse Stone Idol and other things. The Arakara Sack Brute is mostly for other specs, but for us it's not that important. The Forge did get nerfed, so it's very unlikely that we ever double trinket with Prism on Forge now. There were some situations where you could maybe use Forge instead of Prism depending on the timers on the fight. But for now, it's a trinket that is best spent on other good specs that use it, mainly ones that have 2-minute cooldowns. It goes up to 40k, before it was 45k agility, more or less. And now let's talk the trinkets inside of the PTR, mainly what we are going to be using. This one, it's on the vendor, and you will also be able to get it from Delves. This is mainly our Mythic Plus trinket. It procs quite a bit, and it even after the nerfs, instead of giving 30k, it gives like 40 point something. In champion fully upgraded is 704. It gives 14,000 instead of 14.7. It's still very good. It has agility as a primary stat, so it's very cool. Now, of course, antenna and crystal are still very good. Crystal is a little bit hit or miss. I would still use the void touched fragment because you can buy it on a vendor now as the champion line level, and you can just upgrade it because the crystal can proc haste. And of course, as you may know, every time it procs haste, is kind of you lost a proc, but also has very high uptime, so maybe it's still good. Even then, if you like more of a trinket that procs a lot. Antenna is still very decent, and it's one of the top ones for single target. Basically, what this does is, like, if you remember the wither branch bark, it spawns kind of an orb, and then it goes to you. It moves slowly, so you won't lose it, but if you want to pop it fast, maybe you can lose it sometimes where there's a lot of things happening and you don't get it. Of course, if there are some knockbacks or forced movements, you may lose it also. So what I kind of like is the sigil of the cosmic hunt. It does damage, and it also does more damage if the target is lower, and also has some kind of cliff. Very good. It also has a lot of agility, same with the antenna, and it's not bad. Of course, the antenna can high roll and it can block more than once in your cooldowns, and of course, getting like 12 or 18k critical strike on our cooldowns is going to be super good, but this is just more damage. A little bit of an extra effect, of course, when mobs are lower, so it's going to do 160% extra damage when the mobs are less than 20. Very good. And it also got the scaling a little bit changed, but I'm not sure if it's going to be omega good or just kind of decent, same as all of the other trinkets apart from prism and forge, but we are not going to be using forge most likely. Those are the things. Now, one mention, the PvP trinket is slightly going to be the ones that we use at the beginning of the tier before we get our prism. It's very easy to get. I already did a video about last season. I'm going to do another one this season just to remember people and so they don't get confused also. So that's everything. Have a nice one, and I will see you on the next video.